Hey guys, Desolator Gaming here, and it's time for another episode of the least consistent podcast in the world, the Desolator Gaming Podcast. So, you're new to Advantage Play. I wouldn't recommend doing it professionally, because it's a little tough to get it to pay the bills. But if you're going to be at the casino anyway, or you just want a couple $100 a month, well, welcome to my channel and welcome to Advantage Play. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people who are brand new to Advantage Play make the same mistakes and then they burn out, as we call it, and you don't see them again. You see them all excited that they're non-stop, 4 hours a day, checking everything, they're all excited, and ooh, look at this free money, and then after a month you don't see them anymore. Now, sparing them just saying, hey, it's repetitive and it's not for me, there's a lot of mistakes that they make that will end up making it so they don't make money. And that's what I want to cover, because if you're there to make money at the casino, the last thing you want to do is the opposite. So I made a list of the most common things that I see or have heard about when people quit, kind of an exit survey from the Advantage Play world. And this is going to be probably the most important video you watch on my channel. The first is not realizing that if you haul in, $3, $7, $8, because mostly what you're going to find is penny and nickel stuff, because most people play penny and nickel stuff. Like, you wipe out a whole row of Ultimate X, not everybody was there to play $25 a hand on quarters 10 line, I see it, I find it, and, hitting the right casino and the right high limit at the right time at the right denomination after the right events while the right crowd is there is really important. But on the general average day where you're just feeling like going to the casino, or you feel like, it might be kind of hot, let's go, the average person is betting minimum. So what people don't realize about that is making, $8 in 1 minute, and then you add in like walk time and whatever, you're making like $200 an hour. So that's pretty good. And I'm sure you realize this, but just for the non-math oriented of you, $200 an hour until you run out of states to play at the casino, and then there's no more quote unquote work to do. And once in a while, you're at nickels, you get a $400 win, a $1,000 win, it happens. But just realize all these piddly little wins are worth your time. I've had people say the exact phrase, that's not worth my time. Oh, I only had this, that's not worth my time. Almost always it is. Now, the still remaining pro people, I know of a couple who still do it full time, They will exclusively go for the high stuff first. They won't even check nickels half the time on Ultimate X because they think it's not worth their time. Now, if they have a route and they live in Vegas and they only have like so many hours a day to do it, then yeah. But I mean, if you're at one casino, there's no other casino for 100 miles, you might as well check everything. Don't just say, oh, that's not worth my time. Oh, that's too low limit, I'm not going to hit it. It does add up. So the next one I have absolutely beat to death on my channel, but it's worth mentioning. Don't start what you can't finish. Okay, it's not going to go off early or on time just because you want it to. For long run machines, don't start what you can't finish. I guess for short run too, but like, how are you that bad at math? If you know it's $20 a spin and it's going to take you 9 spins on Scarab and you don't have 9 spins worth of money in your wallet, you screwed up. You should have a little bit of backing. Watch out for the fees on like credit card advances and don't play with borrowed money, obviously, but once in a while, if you're onto something big for like $7 a spin and it's a long run machine, but the state is outrageous, like you find like a 241 on Ascending Fortunes on Orange, which I will cover in the near future, you could be in for quite a lot of money and you might need to pull 1,000 because that is a really good state. Like, that is virtually guaranteed money. Nothing's guaranteed on that stupid machine, but if you're hitting all the little stuff, don't skip the big stuff. That's kind of like the inverse, but if, the average debit card has a $1,000 limit, call your bank and see if you can raise it. Maybe show up with more cash than you think you need. I mean, if you're a very disciplined person who's going to do things by the book. But, pickpockets and robberies are a thing, so, wouldn't necessarily have the whole thing in my wallet, I always wear a very particular type of pockets on my pants, so, and I split up money and I don't leave it in the car in case my car gets broken into or stolen. That's just not a good idea. But we have on certain trips had one of those $20 metal gun safes where you can kind of like pinch like a cable. It's like one of those cables that they use to prevent you from stealing the pre-assembled snowblower model at the hardware store. I'm sure that applies to everybody because it snows everywhere. But you know what I mean? It's like an industrial steel tie, and we just put that to like the chassis of the car. So the only way you're stealing that is if you pick the lock, which is not that hard to do, but not everybody's into that. Maybe smash it, but there's nothing to smash it against in the car, or steal the entire car. And speaking of that, I strongly recommend putting a kill switch to the fuel pump in your car if you are in a bad area, or just don't go to that area. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've had it happen where I can't pull anymore. It's like a Saturday night, so the bank's not open, and I'm already at my $1,000 limit. I only brought $500 cash like I usually do. And the run length turned out to be, more than 1,500. I'm sitting there with like a 3 away must hit by. I'm like, how the heck do I get money? Who am I calling at like 1 a.m, I mean, I'm good at this, but one time there was something I really just couldn't pass up, and I kind of pipe dreamed it. And I had to have somebody hold the machine for an hour while I drove home to get money from my safe and back, which took a while. And we got our money back and more. It was profitable, but fuel is a thing, time is a thing. Can't trust everybody. He could have hit it himself. It wasn't somebody I 100% trusted. But yeah, you don't want situations like that. The next one, I cannot stress this enough. I have said this on my channel before, but if this is the first time hearing it, it's a bit of a joke where it's like from the corporate world where, our per item profitability is 97%, but we're going to make it up in volume. And the joke is, no, you're not, because if you're losing 3% on every single thing you do, and then you do more of it, you're just going to lose more money. So don't walk up to a Magic Treasures machine and say, I really want to play this, it's fun, and the last 10 times I made money on it, I really want to play this. Well, I'm sure an 11 is close enough. I will tell you that an 11 is not close enough. My numbers put that below 100%. Well, I'm playing, Scarabs, Honk Bubbles, anything with like a left 3 oriented setup. Well, 1 is close enough. I mean, I know the number is 2, but there's 1 and I don't want to leave 1. That's like 94, 95% RTP in all likelihood. You are going to lose in the long run. It might work out once. On the very first spin, it might drop another bubble on Ocean Magic or whatever, but I assure you the chance of it re-triggering is factored into my numbers and everybody else's numbers. So if you do 1, 2, or 3 spins and all of a sudden, oh, look, 2 bubbles. Oh, I knew it. It only took 3 bets to get it into well over advantage state. I'm going to play 1 from now on. No. The numbers were below 100, and it's really not complicated. In the long run, if you do this enough, below the threshold make number go down, and above the threshold make number go up. Not only would I not play an 11, half the time I don't play a 12 on Magic Treasures. It's just too close for a long run machine because, yeah, I'll make money in the long run, but the major and the maxi are factored into that. So the majority of the time you're going to lose, and then once in a while you'll win, and then on average you'll make a small profit. I like large profits, okay? If I know a machine's like 105%, it's not high on my list unless it's a short run, and even then, I mean, I'd rather go find something that's 140% because I'm going to make, for you math people out there, 8 times more money, all things being equal. Oh, 8 times more profit, I should say. More money is technically incorrect, but we care about profits, so don't do that. Don't just say it's close enough. Now, if you're just playing for fun, you're casual, and you're like, I just like the machine, well, if you found a neutral or a really close state, I mean, what else in the entire casino has like a 98% edge? Probably just about nothing. So if you're playing just for fun and you don't mind even money and you want some points and you don't really care and you might get a win, you might not, but it's like competitive coin flipping. I mean, first of all, you could just go play Baccarat, but, sure, you do you. I mean, I've been known to do it. It depends if I'm there to make money, like hardcore just make money, or if I'm there to I'm there playing anyway, and I'm going to play with the profits and probably play to 0 and hope for a big win and, just push it a little bit. And that's the term we use is push it. We're going to push it a little bit. We're pushing it below 100% or at least below the threshold that we're comfortable with. The next one, this is the number one bankrupter right here of people's bankrolls. And I don't know how people don't figure out what's going on here. They're just like, I don't know what happened, but I lost money. Somebody must be lying to me, giving me bad numbers, or I'm just wrong about this, or it's all a scam. Let me just tell you, you better not comment something like that in my comment section, because that's the last we'll ever hear from you. I hand out bans like I'm handing out candy on Halloween when you're insulting the channel or telling me my numbers are wrong or I'm a scammer when I know darn well I'm not. I don't tolerate that. But anyway, playing 50 little games and then losing at one bigger swing, one long run, or one higher value, okay? You're making $8, $12, $50, that, and then you go, oh, $10 a spin on Phoenix Link, but look at that number, it's at 1720. Assuming I had the bankroll for it, I'd play it. Heck yeah, you kidding me? Just realize that one single slot can bankrupt all of your winnings and your entire bankroll for the night, okay? That could end up costing you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, you don't know? It's a good opportunity, and if you only play the small stuff and skip all the big stuff, you never really make that much money because, that's the bigger opportunity. Like, 120% of a larger number is more money. So assuming it's within your ability to play, and do not play past your means, obviously, AP players aren't invincible. Just realize that one big swing can make your night really good or wipe away 2 hours of work at the casino. Just be aware of that. If you can't deal with that, then just stick to the small to mid stuff, okay? We call that a big swing. Just know that one big swing can ruin your entire day. We had one where me and my crew showed up at 4 a.m, and we got wiped out for $1,800 on the very first machine. And it was a high number. It was a very high number, but it was $8 a spin. And we counted, we're like, yeah, it should take this much, and then we triple it. So whatever we think it'll go off in, we don't start it unless we have triple available, including the ATM. Like if we had to, we consider that available money because it is. And we had about $2,000. We lost $1,800. When it hit, I think we made 11. So that was, so it wasn't an $1,800 loss, but it was bad. Like that's not how we want to start the day. And then we spent the rest of the day making it back. And after a couple hours of work early in the morning, we ended up breaking even. And like I was fine with that. We got a lot of points. That's always what I say. It's not even a joke. I'm like, we got a lot of points. I mean, if I were to complete that statement, that we don't need because we're both already at the top tier. But at that casino, it affected the comps. They just aren't very good. Just watch out for that. Know what you're getting into, and know that if you win a whole bunch of little stuff and then lose a mid to high thing, and you're like, how did I end up losing money or breaking even, or what happened to my profits? Well, that's what happened to your profits. Avoid long run and avoid high stuff if you don't want that to happen. But on average, if it's heavily in your favor, you will continue to make money. You'll make way more money. It's more lucrative to play high stuff. So just, know what you're getting into. And I mentioned this, but it's in my notes. 110% doesn't mean free guaranteed money every single time, okay? According to my numbers from when I was analyzing Frankenstein, I pulled back up the spreadsheet. I think the longest I saw was 88 spins when the average is 16 for the feature to go off. Let's say you had a count of like 23 on the board, but it took 88 spins for you to get It's Alive. I don't care what the setup is. You are losing money on that. So that would be like, I don't even know, 140, 150% return. Nothing is guaranteed. I told people, I could say, here's a 6-sided die, roll it. If it comes up 6, you lose. If it comes up 1 through 5, I'll double your money. Those are pretty darn good odds. I mean, was that 180% or something? Not quite. Great. It still comes up 6, 1 in 6 times. Just because you're heavily favored doesn't mean you can't still lose. And it goes the inverse. If you're at a casino, just because you have a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting the major doesn't mean you don't sometimes get the major. It does happen sometimes. You could bet on 35 out of 36 spots on a roulette wheel, and it comes up, 36, the one that you didn't bet. It's not very likely. It's not very common. It's like a 3% shot, give or take, but it does happen. You don't win every time. You just win in the long run. Here's another one. This is straight up new people. You're like, okay, I got some more money. I saved up. I want to try this AP thing. I usually bring, 50 to 100 to the casino because we're just messing around. That's my entertainment budget for the week, for the month, whatever. And I'm doing this instead of fishing, hunting, going to the gun range, whatever. All 3 of those cost a lot of money. Boating, don't even get me started. A boat is a bucket in the water that you throw money into. But you're like, nah, I don't do that. I do this. Cool, and you stay within your means. And then you're like, well, I've been told that I need 200 to 500 to do some normal level AP. So I got that going. And $1.50 a spin on a long run machine. We're at like a dream setup. Okay, so you walk up to Magic Treasures and it's at like a 27. And you press the button, you're watching your balance just evaporate. You are lighting money on fire, but you know how it works. You know what the numbers are. Trust the system. You have enough to finish it. I mean, 5 bills will cover $1.50 in all likelihood. And you're just watching, boop, 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 boop. There goes $10. Boop, 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 boop. There goes another 10, and you're just sweating. So 50 spins in, nothing has happened. You got like one money ball that didn't trigger it, and you are panicking. You're regretting. What if it's wrong? What if this is the nightmare run to 47 that I've heard about? And like, yeah, but like, know what you're getting into, and it's just try to avoid that. I every time I bring someone along and we're just showing them the ropes, they are like $100 in out of a $500 bankroll with me sitting there with $1,000 to back them up in case of a really bad day, just saying. Or we're 50-50 on it, and if we both get bankrupted on a nightmare run from hell, then I'll just go 60, 40, 70, 30 until we hit it. Okay, like you're getting your money out in all likelihood and you got a safety net, but people are just like, this is way more than I play. I never do above $1 a spin. This money's just going, and you just start feeling sick. You're panicking and you're like, what if? It's a healthy level, but don't let it like prevent you from advantage playing or playing stuff. Or if that's just you and you just get way bad anxiety over it, either stick to really low stuff or short run. Okay. You know that on like a long haul trucker or whatever that one I just covered, you are in, even for $10 a spin, you are in for like 3 spins. So just keep telling yourself there is an ending to this. Or you're playing the scarab slot. You know that once it hits 10, you're out of it, whether the result is positive or negative. So even at $7.50 a spin, which is, quite a lot, you know that you're only risking, well, I was going to say 75, but you shouldn't start from 0. Let's say it's at 3 out of 10, so 7 bets of $7.50, which is not that much money. And you could just wait till your bankroll grows until you get used to it, until you throw it all at like one long run thing. I wouldn't be brand new to AP and go, oh, long run time. But then again, like I said, if the number is 12 and I see a 27, I've seen a number that high once in my entire life. And we aren't going to talk about whether or not I won or lost money on it. I would be thinking about that for the rest of my life if I didn't hit that. Okay, if I didn't jump on and try it. But know the numbers, know short run versus long run. And on my Patreon, by the way, is in the PDF guide, we actually have run length estimation. So you know what you're getting into. I say, oh, this on average hits within 18, or this on average hits within 1,000 spins. So, extreme long run, this bankroll destroyer. We actually have like a really funny warning message for the extreme long run machines like Hexbreaker and Regal Riches. And Wolf Run Eclipse, aka the devil in slot form. One of the few where we ran it up and just had to leave it. I think we left about a 52 on it. I was really happy about that. That's actually the only machine where I have actually fallen asleep while playing it. But yeah, I'm a couple spins in and it's not immediately going off. Regret. Just know that that's a thing. Be prepared for it, because once you know about it, it will affect you less. And then I had in my notes only hitting long run stuff because you're like, yeah, it's more money, so it'll be more money. I mean, mathematically, no, not really. Like if you do the math, it doesn't actually work that way. But the disaster chance on a long run machine, if it takes about 300 to go off and it decided to take 5, you're losing money. I don't care what that end result is. In all likelihood, you're losing money. Maybe you get the major, maybe you get a 5x, who knows? But yeah. Don't just play long run stuff because you're like, yeah, but then this is points, I don't think I've ever even heard of a casino where the point system is above 1% to 2%. There are new person exceptions. There are like promos and stuff, but like, yeah, no. Oh, here's the one. Walking into a casino, know that you're not playing the normal way and you look super nervous. You're looking around. You're checking a UX machine, and after going boop, boop, boop on the screen 5 times, you're like looking behind you. And like, oh, what if somebody's standing right behind me? I forgot. Oh my gosh. One, you're going to look like you're on meth, and the average AP player in Vegas is on meth. And 2, you're going to look like you're doing something suspicious, like you're about to like try and, shove something into the machine and like shim it or something. But walking around, doing nothing, looking around, looking at the staff, checking for security, then going to some secluded little corner, the eyes in the sky are going to be on you like you would not believe. So that's not going to help your anxiety. So the one thing that helped one of my friends out in Kansas who's doing an op down there, I told him, okay, start by just hitting UX because you're good at it. I trained you on it. The rest of the slots, I was still learning them, and I mostly learned the slots at my local casino, not Kansas. But I said, if somebody walks up and says, what are you doing? Because, you're like flashing the screen and doing stuff that makes no sense. You can either say it's superstition, and they may or may not believe you. Just be like, oh, I go like this, and go through all of them. And then whatever one jumps out at me, like I just like get a feeling, They probably aren't going to question that, but the more accurate answer is just have it pre-made, burned into your memory. If somebody questions what I'm doing, all of a sudden I see a reflection, it's security, they go, what are you doing to that machine? Like that, you're doing something weird. What you want to say is, somebody told me that it's bad strategy to start from like 0. So I don't really care what like level or pay table I'm playing. So I just look for like somebody to have left over some multipliers, and then I start playing from there. And somebody said that like in the long run, it like shaves a minuscule amount off of the casino's edge. And if they're like, what? Then just like keep going and be like, wait, here, I'll show you. And then find one with like a couple 2X's and go, yeah, see, if I start playing here and I do like 100 hands, then it's like I started from not 0, because starting from 0 is a massive disadvantage on average on this machine. They'll either see what you're saying or they will not. You're basically telling them you're an AP player, but if they wonder what you're doing, they aren't aware of AP play, at least not on Ultimate X. So have some lines in your head, and don't look around, don't look nervous, just be confident. And I've noticed that people who go in to do an AP thing at like 5 a.m. when it is an absolute ghost town, and so if you're one of 5 people in the casino, security is going to be watching you. So, don't have a hoodie up. Okay, this, like I said, this is a no Unabomber zone. No hoodie, no giant glasses, no earbuds in, okay? You are not at the World Series of Poker, which that shouldn't be allowed anyway. Stop dressing like Ted Kaczynski, okay? If you look like you're going to plant a bomb in the casino, then they're going to treat you like you're going to plant a bomb in the casino. There's a certain group and demographic that does this, and I'm not going to point them out, but stop it. You want to show up in some gambling related jewelry and a shirt that says I'd cash out but I'm not a quitter, or like some Hawaiian shirt, and you're on vacation, you're wearing a big silly hat, you're tapping the screen, you're rubbing the screen, you're just a holiday superstitious gambling idiot. I've even acted drunk if I thought heat was on me, because nobody wants to interact with drunk people. Nobody in security does, unless you're causing a problem. And if you celebrate over a $15 win where you got like a 12x full house on nickels and you're high-fiving your crew and you're, yeah, let's go. Cool, you're a dumb new person and you're not up to anything suspicious. Nothing to see here, And security is thinking, my gosh, if I have to interact with this person. That is the last thing on my to-do list. So don't be nervous, don't look nervous, don't dress like you're trying to hide something, okay? You're not a ninja, you're there to play normal, okay? And then have the pre-written lines in your head in case they question you. Now, here's one that as soon as I say this, you're going to say, do people really do this? Are people really this stupid? And the answer is yes, especially what we call the greasies when they start drinking. I'm just going to read the sentence I wrote in my notes. Don't arrogantly and proudly declare what you're doing and calling everyone else who plays normally a moron to their face or next to them who doesn't play like you do because you found out that the casino doesn't crack down on advantage players. They're aware of them and they decided not to take action. Because guess what they're going to do as soon as you start making guests uncomfortable or acting like a complete and utter jackass? They are going to crack down on AP players. Well, not really plural. They're going to pick one. They already don't like you and they just need a reason. So don't sit down next to someone and they're like, oh man, I'm really feeling this one. You look over, they're at like a 7 on Magic Treasures and go, you idiot, don't you know to only play it if it's 12 or higher? God, you people are so dumb. You're the reason that I make money. You should go learn how to play this machine, you moron. Or walk up on your crew 3 beers in, which do not drink. First of all, don't drink period in your life. I'm German and Irish and from Wisconsin. I don't drink, so if I don't, why do you? But don't mix drinking with gambling. The level of concentration and tracking of math that you have to do to be an AP player is very high. The last thing you want to do is be impaired. And I would double that for being way too tired. If I start doing math wrong, remembering something wrong, or pressing the wrong buttons, or not realizing that I forgot to hold a card or something, I'm going to cost myself a lot of money real quick. Leaving a balance or a slip in a machine? Yeah. Don't do that. But also don't be drunk and then walk up behind somebody and go, oh, I sure wish this idiot who's been sitting here for 30 minutes min betting on my machine would get off because I want to play at higher limit. And then you know that they can hear you. Like I've heard stories, dude. Don't be an idiot. Don't get a big head over you watching a couple YouTube videos and then making a bunch of money and think, I'm the king of this casino. I own it. They're on my machine. Everyone else is just in my way and they're the ones paying me and they're peasants and oh my God. If you have that attitude, just fix your attitude before you do anything involving making money or a career or a job or interacting with other human beings because, no. The next one, being impatient. To a toddler degree, where if I have actually had people do this, not naming names, you could probably guess, where they're like, I never win at poker. I never win at Golden Buddha, so I'm not going to play it. I never win. I'm like, okay. On the average spin, you have a 1 in 10 on Grand Buddha of getting a line pay of any kind. And then if you got 4 in play, you've only got 80%. Wait, that's not right. 67% chance of it hitting on a multiplied one. So you just have to know that for every given setup, you're probably going to lose, but it's the big multiplied wins where you win 8 times your bet or 100 times your bet that the average comes from. So trust the averages, trust the numbers, know that on certain stuff you're going to lose. So with Ultimate X, you're playing one single hand. Well, how often do you win a hand of poker? I think on jacks or better, it's like 24% of the time you have a winning outcome per line. So I've had people hit one AP state, one AP state, one AP state and go, I'm not winning. This is a bad machine. And I'm like, okay, 2-year-old, you just want everything you want to be handed to you. And it kind of goes with the whole nervous thing. If they're playing a machine they're not used to, or they don't trust my numbers, which if you don't trust my numbers, go ahead and get off my channel. Because I take that personally, and you can just go live in fantasy. I don't care. I put way too much time into watching thousands and thousands of spins for someone to tell me that my numbers are wrong. If you don't believe what I'm saying, why are you still here? Plain and simple. But if you do believe my numbers, go check out the playlist called How to Beat Casinos. That's what it is. That's where it is. So, yeah, just saying. Oh, and subscribe if this is somehow the first thing you've ever watched on my channel and you're 25 minutes into a video and you find it interesting. Well, yeah, check it out. You know, you don't want to forget the name of my channel. It's not very memorable. Subscribe is just like a bookmark that says, yeah, show this person more content from this, and when they upload, actually tell them some of the time. But yeah, don't just have a negative result 3, 4, 5 times when you know darn well you need to get a representative average 100 times and go, well, this is stupid and you're wrong and I'm not playing this machine, like a complete and utter baby. People like that have gotten kicked off my crew for that attitude. And refusing to play a relative short machine because, oh, the first 3 times I played it, I lost a little bit. Like I said, if you don't trust my numbers, then you sure as hell ain't getting a share from my crew. That's for sure, because you're the impatient type of person who'll take shortcuts, play short, which is where you play an 11 on Magic Treasures, or we call it forcing it. I forced one. Yeah, you start doing that crap with shared money. Bye. Speaking of that, here's another mistake. Don't just join a crew or assemble a crew, and if you do, make sure it's people you can trust, okay? It better be a family member or your wife or husband. If it's just somebody you're vaguely friends with or somebody you ran into at the casino, that ain't good enough, okay? Just don't get involved in a crew unless you know you 100% can trust them, because everybody I've ever worked with is now no longer on my crew except for one person, and he's on the edge with his behavior lately, so, I think I'm the only one who takes it seriously. You want to find somebody who has that drive. They don't get dissuaded. They know math. They know numbers. And they just have the right personality. And then they're just a trustworthy person in general. And they're not hard up for money. They're not going to do something like drink while there. They're not going to like leak secrets. They're not going to sit down on a 3-bank with a person on the left, a person on the right, and then start checking the machine because they are just greedy and don't want to wait for the bank to show up. And then everybody's looking over at them like, what the hell are they doing? And then you're accidentally giving out free lessons to the people around you, which was actually the next thing on my list, was don't give free lessons to people around you inadvertently. Don't let them see what you're doing, okay? You want, if it's a 4-wide bank and somebody's on the far right side and you want to hit one on the far left side, cool. Have somebody sit to your right or don't do it, because that's within human beings' periphery, as they call it. And they could glance over and be like, what's he doing? Like he's doing like something, like rapidly hitting something's weird here. All you need is for somebody who's there all the time, the regulars, to figure out what you're doing and go, wait a minute. And then they go Magic Treasures and go boop, 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 boop. Wait a minute. That's a higher number. There's going to be more balls. Huh. Maybe I should do that. No free lessons. That is the number one thing. Okay. No free lessons. Do not play next to other people. The end, period. Okay. Anybody at my local that I frequent the most often caught doing that, we're going to be real hostile to you. Because you're not just ruining it for us by, existing. You're ruining it for everybody by accidentally showing other people how to do it because you just wanted to hit one more machine and you don't care. And it's usually the people dressed like the Unabomber. The next one I mentioned it, but don't think that you're indestructible. I've had people where they're just like, they're new to casinos in general, kind of, and then they get into advantage play and they go, this is so easy. I unlocked the key. I'm indestructible. And then they go play one that's just like fun or one that's close or, like I've been known to play with 50% of my profits. It's always the policy. It's just what we do because sometimes we want like a bigger swing or we'll go like, 25 a spin for $100 if we win 1,000 or something, Or we'll jump on tables and you think, well, everything I play is like 120% and then the table games are like 3%, so I'm not going to lose money. And then all of a sudden you lose, 5 hands in a row on Texas Hold'em and you're down your entire amount. You are not indestructible and the math doesn't always go the way you want, even if it is in your favor. So don't play non-AP stuff and somehow link it in your head that you're magic. The only thing magic is the math, okay? There's nothing about you that's special when it comes to winning at slot machines. And you might think, who's going to go from AP stuff and be like, I can't stop winning. I'm on a lucky streak. And then go to a non-AP machine and completely lose their butt? A lot of people. That's actually up there with the number one thing I've seen with APs that blow out. And then you'd never see them ever again. And the last one, although I can virtually guarantee there's going to be a part 2, so if there's something I forgot, leave it in the comments section. Otherwise, this is only about 20 minutes of brainstorming, so there's probably something I forgot. But yeah, I mean, subscribe if you want to see more. Otherwise, we don't do podcast stuff very often on this channel, but when I do, it's a really interesting topic that's relevant, and usually it's either really entertaining or really informative. And coming shortly to the podcast, we're going to have some crazy casino stories because I've probably spent, 3,000-4,000 hours in a casino. Some wacky stuff happens, like stuff involving security, stuff involving drunk people, stuff involving sports issues, stuff involving somebody shooting up the place and everybody having to evacuate and then getting home at 4 a.m. and then having my car locked up in evidence. That was fun. So if you want to hear that story, that's probably going to be the first one. So hit subscribe. But the last one, falling for fake progress or just fake designs in machines, okay? People, I'm not going to name names, but you all know darn well who I'm talking about. People who are quote-unquote professional full-time Advantage players who somehow, some way, fall for fake progress. But I've seen long-time, big-time gamblers who fall for this stuff initially, or at least they question it, where everybody knows the golden rule of should I even bother investigating this machine is, well, if I'm betting 50 cents and the chickens, the pandas, the clouds, the whatever are like getting bigger, how do I know if that's real progress? Well, one, if it's not a number, it's not real progress. But there are a very tiny handful of exceptions out there where you are going in blind, but a bigger whatever on screen actually does mean something. And how you can tell is because you can't drive up progress at 50 cents and then play it at $5. Okay, that you could just break the machine. Nobody would be dumb enough to make a slot machine that works that way. So if you've been playing for a while and we'll just say Temple Falls. So both of the bowls are extremely high on the coins. One, you could go into the help file and see if it says the fullness of the whatever is just for entertainment purposes only, blah, 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 blah. Now, if it doesn't say that, that's one where people are like, wait, it doesn't say that. Two, you drive up the progress at 50 cents and then you go to $5 and the amount changes. People are like, whoa, wait a minute. That might be real progress. Let me just tell you that slot machine makers have figured out that you think that way. Even the average non-AP person that's just like superstitious where they're like, I hit the pigs when they're really big. Oh, I only jump on it like a moderately big number, but I don't know what the number is. On Magic Treasures, if I see a higher number, I play it. Like I'll check the best one in the bank and I'll play it. It's the same people who are like, well, that major is higher, so I'm going to play on that cabinet, which yes, that is a valid thing. It's just, you're never going to cross over into Advantage on most machines that just have progressives, But machine makers know that if you go between and you're like, whoa, wait, if I go from betting $2 down to $1 because I'm losing and don't want to lose my whole bankroll, that resets the progress, so it must be real progress. Like, even the average player doesn't know what they're doing. They think that you're going to think that, so that's how they design it. Also, it doesn't have to disclose by law in most jurisdictions that the progress is fake. A lot of them just went out ahead of it because they don't want to be seen as like scumbags. They're already doing 10 other things to lie to you. They might as well put it in some little one line on some giant paragraph in some giant help screen that nobody ever reads. But there's no law saying that you have to do that. So if the progress on some dumb animation on screen, some little, barnyard animal or whatever, stays persistent between the bet amounts, then it must be a persistent state machine. No, it's not. In all likelihood, it's not. How many eyes are open on the little statues doesn't matter on any of the new games, okay? But then again, you go to that one with the little pedestals rise up and down and the dragon goes behind it, and like the dragon turns gold when you're like close to it, it's one away. That actually does mean something. So it's like, okay, like you just gotta know, which is why, just watch my channel. Shocking that that's the solution. I'm sure I'm not biased about that one, but in this case, I'm not. That's just get good information from good sources, and I'll tell you if it's real or not. I wanted to do a whole video on how to tell if a machine is true progress or not, but if you do know it's AP, cool. How do you now know what the numbers are? So it's like, what's the point? And I thought to myself, the only reason I would make that video is to get people to stop asking, hey, what are the numbers on this one? And I'm like, that's not AP. Hey, are there any good states on this one? That's not even a persistent state. That's true random every single spin. Oh, hey, what are the numbers on Huff and Puff? Like, what? How do you advantage play Mo Mummy? I really like that one and I want to advantage play it. There's not even a persistent state on that one. So if the only reason is to get people to stop asking in the comment section about machines that aren't clearly AP, it wouldn't be that productive of a video because the overwhelming majority of you are smarter than that. And if you do identify one as AP, cool, you don't know the numbers. There's ballpark ways to estimate it and stuff, and there's like some really basic like napkin math you can do, but if you make a mistake and you accidentally come up with 98%, then you're back to one of the other topics I mentioned, which is 98%, but we'll make it up in volume. So that is it for today. Let me know if you've made any of those mistakes in the past, or if every single one that I brought up in this podcast I already knew about. Haha. Well, good. I mean, it's not really even a waste of your time. 1, refresher. 2, the majority of people probably had something about this. And 3, I did say this was for new people. If you've been advantage playing for 3 years or something, just saying. But even the long timers could fall for stuff like this. So, yeah. But if you thought this information was good, leave a big old like. Don't forget to subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you want. Link in the description in the comment section. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time.